Well, good evening. And first at 5, the search for a man wanted in a troubling attack. He's accused of threatening and robbing a mail carrier last Wednesday in Northeast Portland. Thanks for joining us. I'm David Molko.
And I'm Laurel Porter. The United States Postal Inspection Service is now offering an up to $50,000 reward for information leading to an arrest. Daisy Caballero reports.
The letter carrier is physically okay, but I think still struggling with some of the mental health aspects of having that violent interaction.
A female postal worker was attacked by a stranger around lunchtime last Wednesday after the suspect demanded keys to mailboxes and the mail carrier's vehicle. This happened in Northeast Portland's Coley neighborhood at 58th and Church Street. You can see the suspect here in these surveillance photos.
And that person demanded some of the items that the letter carrier had and departed the area pretty quickly thereafter.
The victim gave the man several mailbox keys but didn't give up her car keys. She then ran to a nearby home and was welcomed inside for safety to call the police.
We've seen an uptick in the last 12 to 15 months. We've had 3 total. We also had a letter carrier shot in December. So there have been some additional, it's been an uptick recently here, but I can't attribute it to any one item.
Last September, a USPS mail carrier was assaulted with a gun near the Lloyd district. Another carrier was assaulted with pepper spray in December in Portland's Overlook neighborhood.
I am astonished that it happened because we don't get any crime in this area.
A neighbor I spoke with said he was home during Wednesday's Coley neighborhood robbery. He didn't see or hear anything, but is shocked by the news.
This area is very safe. Like I said, there's no crime, 0 crime in here. In 1972, this house was broken into, and there hasn't been any robberies since.
There's an up to $50,000 reward for information leading to the arrest of the suspect.
Feeling safe at work is extremely important to us. And so that's why we put the reward out. That's why we offer as much money as we do. These investigations are very important and we want to get them solved.
Reporting in Northeast Portland, Daisy Caballero, KGW News.
One person is dead after a crash on Northeast Marine Drive in Portland. Police say the car went off the embankment just west of 185th Drive. The driver did not survive. Reports of the crash first came in about 10:30 this morning, but police say it appears it actually happened sometime overnight. Anyone who may have seen it or has information is urged to contact Portland police.
And that crash came a day after the Portland Bureau of Transportation released its annual report on traffic deaths. 63 people died on Portland streets last year. That is the same as in 2021. That's the most deaths since 1990. The report says 70% of last year's crashes occurred on what the city calls high crash corridors, which make up only about 10% of all Portland streets. 28 of those deaths last year were pedestrians killed by cars, most of them while it was dark out. We have the full report up for you now on KGW.com.
My wife in here, nose to nose, shouting whose house it is. And I said, let's just get out of the house and I'll call 911.
A terrifying experience for a Northwest Portland couple when they suddenly had to deal with 2 people storming their house and barricading themselves inside. The good news tonight, the couple is safe and the alleged intruders are in custody. Let's bring in Mike Benner from outside the Multnomah County Courthouse tonight, where the suspects went before a judge this afternoon. Mike?
Yeah, Laurel, those 2 suspects appeared in court on burglary and coercion charges following this home invasion that appears to be random. The homeowner telling me that the 2 people who stormed his house were strangers. This all unfolded late Monday morning at a home off Northwest Skyline Boulevard near Forest Park. The 85-year-old homeowner, who wanted to remain anonymous, tells me he and his wife noticed a man outside putting a ladder against the house. Next thing the homeowner knew, the man and a female accomplice were inside the house. The man was acting erratically. The homeowner tells me that he and his wife got out of the house and called police. A small army of officers raced to the scene, concerned because the homeowner had some guns stored in the house. After several hours of negotiating, the Special Emergency Response Team entered the home and arrested the suspects.
It was quite an experience, but no one got hurt. The doors that have to be replaced, they're replaceable.
Again, the suspects were in court this afternoon, and for Michael Mazzi, it's a place he's familiar with. The 33-year-old's criminal history dates back to 2008 and includes an arrest and conviction for a violent assault. Meantime, 33-year-old Karina Trabu's rap sheet isn't nearly as long, but she did have a warrant out of Oregon City. Now, if these two bail out of jail, they're ordered not to get anywhere near the couple they're suspected of terrorizing. Back to you.
Just glad the homeowners are okay. Thank you, Mike. Police have arrested 2 people after a TriMet bus driver was stabbed in the leg in Northeast Portland. 28-year-old Anna Perez Velador appeared in court this afternoon to face assault and other charges. Police say she and another rider, 26-year-old Cody Richardson, were the only 2 left on the bus at the end of the line last night. The driver asked them to get off. That's when police say Perez Velador stabbed the driver in the leg. The driver escaped through the window and was later treated and released from the hospital. Richardson was also arrested for interfering with public transit. Both suspects had existing arrest warrants.
Oregon State Police must pay $1.6 million as part of a settlement with the family of a man killed by troopers. It happened in 2015 near Grants Pass at the home of Robert Box. State police received a call that Box had assaulted his adult daughter. According to state prosecutors, troopers eventually shot him after he pointed a gun at them. However, lawyers for the family maintain Box had the right to be armed on his own property. They also accuse OSP of ambushing him because dispatch told troopers Box's daughter had left the house and was not in danger. The court case went through a lengthy appeal process before reaching an agreement last week. The state police superintendent apologized to the family for what happened.
Well, this evening we have a promising follow-up on the opioid crisis that is plaguing Portland, our region, and the country. Now, back in November, we met a young man who was addicted to fentanyl and chose to enter a recovery program at a brand new treatment center. Now he's preparing to graduate. Blair Best has the update.
The road to recovery has been a long one for 20-year-old Andrew Couch. We first met him 4 months ago.
I feel like I'm on what they call the pink cloud.
When he was heavily addicted to fentanyl pills.
I was doing multiple pills a day, definitely, until I ran out of money.
He had just admitted himself into Cielo treatment center that had recently opened in Northeast Portland. Now, 4 months later, he's one of the first to graduate.
It feels good knowing that I don't have to rely on something.
He's on medically assisted treatment to help wean him off the drugs. He's starting school in April and is talking to his family again.
Previously in my addiction, I was like just angry, getting high all the time, bad relationships with everybody. Didn't really care about anything other than myself and drugs.
In the past, leaving treatment centers resulted in relapse or overdose.
I'm going to do everything in my power to not let that happen.
Like relying on the community he's formed at Cielo, since most of the staff, like Martin Camacho, are also in recovery.
The thing is that, you're not alone. And this is all done as we call it like finding your tribe, right? And it's about finding like a group of people, finding your support group that understands you and that can hold you accountable.
Every week, the clients are drug tested and taught the importance of a healthy routine.
We try to equip them the best that we can in those 4 months. We don't try to treat the drugs and we don't try to treat the alcoholism. We try to treat the person.
Yet the current state of the city's drug crisis is working against them.
The person's at risk walking out the door. But we're trying to focus on our primary purpose, and we're just trying to help people.
If you worked half as hard in recovery as you did trying to find the pills, you'd be doing really well.
At Cielo Treatment Center, they have an open door policy, which means when someone graduates, they're free to come back whenever they want. And people from the treatment center keep following up with them to keep them on the road to recovery. In Northeast Portland, Blair Best, KGW News.